Yo, 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 what's up, y'all? It's your boy Big Mike in the building. Swish for real. How you living? I got my co-host with me, Boogie Bob. Boogie, how you living, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Uh, Always enjoy to join the show, talk a little hoops. Uh,
Talk lots of hoop. And guys, back in effect, the man, the myth, the real talk, Paul Miranda. What's up with you, man?
Man, living the dream right now. Been going through some scary months these last few months, man, with the wifey. But we back and we getting ready to start hitting the scene, man. We getting ready to start hitting. I'm missing some good basketball over these last few months. The Gasso, the EYBL going on right now, the Gauntlet for the Adidas, and the UAA Rise for Under Armour. Puma has a circuit. I mean, everybody got a circuit now.
Yeah.
Uncle Drew has a circuit, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, but man, a lot of stuff that we gotta start covering over these next few months here regarding the AAU scene and high school basketball scene, because that's what the Real Talk Nation is all about, right?
Real Talk Nation.
Basketball, baby, and it's coming faster than you know it. So.
And guys, we have a special announcement. He has officially become part of the Swish for Real Dream Team.
Yes,
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man.
I appreciate you guys. Well, we finally got some time to get it in, so let's do it, man. I'm anxious, man. I ain't been in front of a camera in a while, man, and the microphone is on, so let's do it. What's hot off the press right now that we're gonna jump into?
Man, Golden State Warriors is our first topic of the day, man. Right. They are trying to retool. They're an older team now. They were a dynasty. They did their thing. They won 5 championships, I believe.
Yeah.
And so, Klay Thompson went to Dallas, and then right after that transition, Luka got traded. So now Klay Thompson is back out. Maybe he's still got a 1-year contract with Dallas. So they're thinking about moving that contract. So the consensus is if LeBron goes to the Golden State Warriors, then Klay Thompson may fall behind. Paul, what are your thoughts on what's going on with Golden State and what direction are they going right now?
I don't know if it was BB Hill, BB King rather, or ZZ Hill that said, "The thrill is gone, babe."
Oh yeah.
It's over for Golden State because I don't think LeBron's going there. I saw that Draymond ended up opting out his contract to help facilitate that ease for LeBron to slide on in so they can put together a team. But man, I'm hearing whispers from my peeps in Philly talking about he's swaying sweet nothings to Ty Maxey and Embiid and Jaylen Brown. Ooh.
Now he go to Philly. That would be a dream team. I mean, that's crazy.
I was looking the other day and I saw a guy say, the ending has got to be just as climatic as the documentary, the entry to the documentary. So now we got to close the documentary out for him. What better place, man? I mean, he's got to win, right? You're looking at 1 or 2 at least. How many rings he has? He only has 3 or 4. What is it?
I think it's
4.
He got 4. Yeah, 1 with Cleveland, 2 with Miami, and 1 with LA.
He's chasing 2, maybe 3. Where do you go to get that at?
Yeah,
Cleveland.
What are you gonna do with LeBron? No, and with James Harden?
They cannot coexist. Come on,
yeah,
Bob. Come on, Boogie Bob.
I said it a year ago. I'm sticking by my prediction. It's a fairy book. It's a fairy Hollywood script fairy tale ending.
Yeah,
go back to your hometown. Drag the team along. They got a lot of young talent. Harden opted out of his contract, so
I get that. But what are you talking about now that Jaylen Brown is signed with the Sixers? That has changed the landscape of everything now because that team looks like even if Embiid doesn't play. And by the way, I was hearing rumors that our beloved Mavericks were in the hunt for trying to do something for Embiid. I don't know why. It just seems like we're connected to injury players.
Yeah, we don't need street clothes 2.0.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, and what I was going with that was, even if Embiid doesn't play, that's still a threesome that's going to be terrible to face.
Man.
And BJ's come.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, and they got a bunch of young guys, that they have coming up. I mean, what better plug-in would that be to have somebody the experience of him along with Jaylen Brown? I think that elevates the Sixers to, how they say, they kind of post them to the front row.
Yeah.
My boy used to say that was Boogie Bob. What's my guy name for the Milwaukee?
Anonymous.
What's
The
my
Greek
guy
freak?
name for the commercial? Catapult them to the front row.
Yeah, welcome to the front row.
Yeah. So
I still like Derek Harper's comment. You go to Utah. I mean, Giannis and Bam Adebayo, some of those players they brought into Miami, Pat Riley might come on back.
That's a good fix because, and I'm going to say this too on behalf of that. I mean, he is going to have the ball in his hand religiously if he goes to Miami, because is that what he wants? I mean, is Greek the Freak at the point in his career to where he's street close 3.0.
Let me ask you this though. For Golden State, Yaxel Lindenborg, is he going to be a good fit as a rookie coming in? And what are they going to do with Jimmy Butler in that same breath?
So a lot has changed here recently, and in the draft since the last time I talked and so forth. My guy, that new hire for the Dallas Mavericks, Dusty May, got him on speed dial. He answers pretty quick.
Wow.
And I've been knowing this guy since he was at Law Tech years ago.
Nice.
And, I was stunned when they didn't grab Luxembourg, and they went with the other kid. Because
Perez.
And I asked, I said, "Hey man, what he still hasn't responded yet. He's just saying question mark. So I think he's kind of telling me something on the cool without really saying something right now. He chose a guy that fits, not because Luxembourg didn't, is not a great player or anything. Lindenberg, whatever his name is, Axel. I like calling him Axel Foley. Axel Foley, I think would have clashed with Cooper Flag. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's what the Mavericks needed. I think he fits perfect, honestly, in Golden State. He couldn't. For him, I don't think he could have went to a better team, a better opportunity than Golden State. Man, come on, man! You get to play with Steph Curry, the best shooter in the game ever. Come on,
Draymond Green, and then I still think what they're gonna do with Jimmy Butler is the question, though.
Yeah, but today's game, man, you gotta have pieces like that. They need another threat. You need three. The way the NBA game is set up now, and it's one of the reasons why I don't really, break my neck to watch it. Right? I like watching it when the playoffs start, but it's because it's become it's not team anymore. It's built around one or two or three players. And that's the reason why the 3-on-3 thing by the big three by IQ is so hot, because you really only need three people that everybody in the stands are going to watch anyway. You understand what I'm saying? And I think the Axel Foley kid could slide right into that mix with Jimmy Butler and Stephon. Draymond, we're not looking at him to be a scorer. We're looking for him to do what he normally does, right? The dirty work. The enforcer category. He can keep that role. Axel is another guy that can give him some money in the paint, and slash it, just like Jimmy Butler does. So you put Jimmy Butler on one side of the floor, you put Axel Foley on the other one, and let Steph, shoot them rainbows. Hey, here we go. They got a big guy too, though, don't they? I thought they had a big man down there that's like.
They had Kevin Looney, but Looney left.
Looney left UCLA.
He's in LA.
Yeah. He's at LA?
Lakers with the Lakers, but Looney left a couple years ago. They have a young guy that's been playing center for him. I don't remember the name.
Wow. Well, I can't think of it either, but I think they're going to be. I think Golden State they're going to be good with what they have. I don't think LeBron is going to Golden State. the script is it just doesn't, two places to me, well, three places, because Miami, he's got a little love for the GOAT of coaches. Well, one of the GOAT of coaches now, Pat Riley, the original GOAT. Let me say it. Well, no, we can't call Pat Riley the original, right? That was Auerbach, right? The original.
Red Auerbach, yeah.
Red Auerbach was the original GOAT. So I guess, GOAT part 2. I don't know. I think he got a lot of love for him. And I think the Philly situation is very intriguing. And again, he's always been about, what's my legacy going to be? What's my legacy going to be? And he knows he's chasing 2. He can't win 2 in Cleveland, and he's not going to win 2. He's not going to win 2 in Golden State. Again, how many games has Steph Curry been missing over the last couple of years too?
Yeah.
All the guys are getting a little long in the tooth now, man. So can't have a whole bunch of old guys. That's why the Philly situation makes sense. You got a bunch of young guys with a group of guys that are right there in the mix, in age, and they provide him and Jaylen Brown provides the leadership, and they're ready to roll.
Yeah. Boogie, your thoughts. Where is Golden State headed right now? They're in the twilight, like Paul said. They're long in the tooth right now as far as the roster. But they got, Porzingis still. He's there. And you still got the kid they got from Boston, which is Al Horford. So he's there. So they got some pieces. But all those guys, like you said, Paul, they all long in the tooth. But where do they go from here as far as the Golden State Warriors, Bob?
Well, let me before I get into mine that I wrote down, I watched Yaxel Lindenberg, and I'm like, smooth operator. And I got back looking, because Morez Johnson Jr. had the best combine camp. Everybody was talking about him. And of course, Dusty May hadn't got the job yet, but they Ujiri, and then when Schmitz got hired, they were asking him about all 3 players. Yeah. And I think there's 2 big reasons they didn't take Yaxel over Morez. One, he's older. He's like 23, whereas Morez is 20. Even though Yaxel may be more NBA ready, he may not grow any more than what you've seen in the summer league. So I think he's what my friend used to say. He's polished. Morez isn't polished yet, but he's a dog. And Yaxel's pretty good, and I think Paul nailed it, is that he fits great with Golden State. The other reason, other than age, is he's a duplication of what Cooper Flagg gives you. So it's kind of like when the Mavericks took Dale Ellis when they already had Rolando Blackman. They couldn't get Dale Ellis on the court. And when they did, it was, with spot minutes. Then he got a chance to shine when they sent him to Seattle. So it's the same reason they didn't take Charles Barkley when they had Mark McGuire. So teams tend to not draft a duplicate player. I think Yaxel kind of duplicates what Cooper Flagg gives you with, in a sense, and he's older. So Morez was a fit, and you can see with Ade Mara that, like most centers, it's going to take time for him to develop. He's got the height, but as I've said on this podcast many times, speed beats height anytime. If you can't get your feet there, it don't matter how tall you are.
Yeah.
So here's what I wrote as far as Golden State. They're slowly fading into the sunset. I think they're going to be a play-in team, even if they sign LeBron. LeBron's been very, very healthy, but they're still going to be a play-in team. With Houston, Denver, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, there's four top spots right there, and you ain't got to Minnesota or any of the other teams that are going to be climbing up. So Golden State, I think they're a play-in team. What people remember until Luka went to the Lakers, Stephen Curry still had the number 1 selling jersey. So I think a singular great player in Steph Curry, who did change the game, and they've turned more into hero ball. when they were winning championships with Harrison Barnes and Andre Iguodala, they played more team ball. But the last 2 or 3 years, it's been the Stephen Curry show, and with Kerr there, they don't play as much hero ball, but it's still a form of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but what I saw from Yaxel at the 2 games that he played, I wouldn't say he tore up Morez, but he looked more polished to me. He definitely has straight ahead speed. I don't think he's going to be quite the defender Morez Johnson is.
Yes.
Morez got the length and he seemed to have quick hops. He don't have great hops, but it's hard to compare his hops when you're looking at Toby Lawal when he can jump and his head's above the rim. For Morez, I think they're planning on playing him kind of like Golden State played Draymond Green, the way Miami plays Bam Adebayo. He's not going to be your 7-foot center, but he's going to be that 6'9" brute that you can't move, and he can go up and defend. The eye test says he knows what he's doing, but I think he's got more room to grow than Yaxel. So I just see Golden State it slowly fade in, try to get what they can out of Stephen Curry in his last contract, and they got all that money from the Chase Center, so they're not worried about the luxury tax.
Yeah.
There's 2 places you don't want to be in any sport. You don't want to be in the middle. You'd rather be at the top or at the bottom.
Yeah.
At the bottom, you can come on up, but at the top, you try to stay there. But when you're in the middle and you consistently, Golden State, even if as is, they're a 45-win team. They've been a 45-win team for a couple of years. They're going to stay there. Getting into the 50 wins, it's going to take more than just health. I think Yaxel is going to help them, but I still don't. Vegas odds had them at 46 or 47 wins this year. So even Vegas doesn't think, that they're going to be up there. If you want to be in the top 4, you're going to have to be. It's kind of like when Dirk and the Mavericks were ascending. You had to win 50 games just to get into the playoffs. That team isn't long before the play-in. The 8th team, I remember one year, won 51 games, and they were the 8th seed. So if you're not winning 50 or more, and that's the one thing, we can look backwards at the trade, and all of us got upset. But the ceiling was already capped there. Luka, with all the draft picks that the previous management spent, they were a 51, 52 win team. And they caught lightning in a bottle one year and caught health. But I think that was as far as that team was going to go, was 50, 52, 53 wins. They weren't going to be a 60-win team.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that now. In LA, they had eight free agents. They only re-signed one of them. Well, they signed a second guy, Austin Reeves. But, can you honestly say the Lakers are any better than they were last year? Not really. Kessler's an improvement over Ayton, but not much.
Yeah.
Not worth 2 first-round picks, two pick swaps, and 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, we talked about LA last week, and it was brutal.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this question, Boogie. If you had the draft over for Golden State, if they say, for instance, that they were in the top 10, who would Yaxel be replaced with? Because there's a lot of good draft picks. Will he outshine a lot of these guys in the next couple of years? But who would you have picked up?
I think in the first couple of years he'll be higher rated because of what he can give you immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a high floor, but his ceiling's pretty low. So. But, they had 2 high picks when Stephen Curry and Draymond Green were young, and they whiffed on both of them. On Wiseman and then Kuminga. And they signed Kuminga to an extension and then traded him because they wanted the salary. And then Kuminga got traded again and then let go as a free agent. I forgot where he signed, but he was at Atlanta. So, they had the number 2 pick 4 or 5 years ago, and then Kuminga was a high pick. He's a lottery pick. And those were the years that Golden State had major injuries, but they get all the credit in getting Clay and Draymond and Stephen Curry, but their draft history since then, it hasn't been very good.
So you think they'll start Yaxel as far as him at the small forward?
Yes, but not immediately. I think it'd probably be somewhere around the 20th game.
Yeah.
You'll see him being starter.
Okay, so that means Jimmy Butler will have to move to like either the shooting guard position or point.
They'll put Jimmy at small forward. They'll leave Draymond at center because Jackson's going to be a power forward.
Yeah, but they got him listed as small forward.
He's a tall small forward, but he can play power forward. He's kind of your Swiss Army knife. He's a better version of Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. Yeah, Barnes, he bottomed out pretty fast, especially when he got to Dallas. I don't think he really wanted to come to Dallas, to be honest. But he signed, so it's just weird that he did that. Yeah, for sure.
He wanted the money.
Yeah,
and he was the feature. They ran ISOs and gave him the Dirk plays, and he was an ISO guy.
When you guys were talking about, you named off all the teams: San Antonio, Denver, and Houston, and the Thunder. Speaking of that Michigan team, they drafted that center that I was surprised.
Yeah, 7'2" center from Michigan.
Draft. That Spanish kid could play, man. I was a little surprised by that. I think when I see Dusty, I'm going to ask him about that, man. Because I just knew, if they wouldn't take Yandel, whatever, Axel Foley, I thought that he would draft that center, and he chose this kid, and I'm like, ooh, something must be good about this.
But see, the Mavs got two good centers. They just got to hold on to him. But Dave Mara, he really did it in Michigan. That's who they drafted for as the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, he was drafted 12. Golden State drafted 11. But Dave Mara played for USC, and he wasn't even on the radar. And then Coach May coached him up. He wasn't asked to do much. I think he was like a 12 and 10 guy, 12 points, 10 rebounds. So, rebounds translate pretty well from college to the pros. But big men take a while to develop. Derek Lively and Wemby are the exceptions to, people that are over 7 foot.
I got an NBA scout guy that Alex Klein, been in there for years. For the Pelicans, he always tells me till this day, point guards and centers are just too hard to find. And if you can get your bag of them, you take them. You follow what I'm trying to say? Regardless of how many you have on the roster now, that's commodity. That's real estate property that you can go sell off and get some other real estate. And I said that's why I was surprised they didn't draft Mara.
Yeah.
Because I think Lively and Goddard, was Gabbert.
Gafford,
those guys ain't played a whole lot of games. In their
the last 2 years for sure.
3 years, they've been a little. Since that first year, we hadn't really seen a whole lot of them. They're acting like, I don't know if they, how you say, birds of a feather flock together and all that. You start a guy named Street Clothes, you start acting like that. This is just. You kind of think that this is the way it's supposed to be in the league. I think that's why the Mavericks did a great job of getting rid of Street Clothes. Anthony Davis, you got rid of him because I think you kind of see some of the players, the younger players, kind of honing in and taking after and following after a guy like that. That's not the message that you want to, not the kind of guy you want to be following around. Not to say Anthony Davis couldn't play. I don't want to, don't shoot me, Anthony Davis, but you just can't stay healthy. And
something to add too, Paul, and keep an eye on. Oklahoma City's got 20-some first-round picks over the next 6 years still.
Yes, sir.
They've signed their 3 guys, and they're going to have to fill in with rookie contract players. Rookie contracts are not that cheap anymore. They're close to the mid-level exec. But they drafted a guy. Watch out for it because they traded 2 of their players away.
Yeah.
But they drafted a point guard. His last name is Gist. I think it's how you pronounce it. Giist.
Yes. Yeah.
He'd be the perfect complement when SGA has to come out and get a. They got Caruso and they got Case of Wallace, but they don't have a person come in and just take the reins like when SGA needs a break.
Yeah, facts.
So,
And speaking of point guards, there's a kid that went to Charlotte when he got drafted, and now he moved on to Minnesota. We're talking about LaMelo Ball. Man, I love that kid, man. Very creative. Paul, what will he bring to the Minnesota Timberwolves, man? He's a dynamic guard. His arrival is going to be massive there, and I think he's going to be pretty elite, as you can see him playing with Anthony Edwards, a superstar on that team, and you got a great center. So there's a lot they can do with LaMelo Ball. I think that's why they're really missing as far as our guard goes. But what are your thoughts? Can he make an improvement with them, and how far can Minnesota go with him? I think I want to hear what you say, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
No doubt it's going to be great for ticket sales. Number one, the Ball family is about as interesting as you can get. I think he is, to me, a dynamic player, like you said, man, great shooter, a guy that just wants to make plays. I don't know though how much of a winner he really is. I don't know how much his game, subscribes to that field called, or that phrase called winning. You know what I'm saying? And he gets buckets. He knows how to hoop. But is he a winner? And don't get me wrong, they had a great season last year. Charlotte did, but that Con Knipple was the main reason for that. You know what I'm saying? And they had a couple other pieces. And don't get me wrong, Ball contributed heavily to that. But when I saw them play, I didn't see the big winner, the winning plays that I expect top players like that to make. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I saw a guy that just hoops, not play the game, but hoops. There's a difference between playing the game. Players know how to play the game. They make winning plays at the right time and so forth. I don't see that with Mr. Ball on that. And again, that's my old scouting evaluator, MO coming to play in this. And so I'm worried, is there enough balls to go around between him and Ant?
Yeah.
I know it's just.
Do you think Mike Conley will be a good influence on LaMelo?
I hope so. Yeah, he's still playing. Mike Conley?
I think he went somewhere else. I think he signed somewhere else.
They still have him on the roster, unless he just went. I have to double check. But
I thought I saw where he was going to Boston.
Oh,
that'd be crazy.
Oh, that'd be really.
You have
on Hurt Pritchard,
Dosunmu. You got Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, DaVincio. He's still there. Bones Highland's still there. They got some pieces, man. I don't know how far they'll go. In my opinion, that's what I was going to say. I think they'll still be like maybe top six in the Western Conference. But how far they go, I don't think they'll make the Western Conference Finals this year for sure.
They lost my guy in that trade, though, right? Didn't they? What was the big fella? The McDaniel. What was the name? The big dude. 6'6", 6'8".
Nas Reed. They traded on.
Right.
They left Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Who?
Nas Reed.
Randle.
Bingo. That's the one I'm talking about. Nas Reed. Yes. That's going to be a big piece that they lost, man, because that's a lot of toughness. I ain't saying Ant-Man ain't tough. And but Rudy Gobert does his thing in the paint, but he's not what I consider tough. I think he's only tough when he plays against his little brother Wembley. It seems like the time you go up against Embiid and all them, he disappears a little bit. But no, okay. Hey man, I like Shannon, the kid named Shannon from Illinois, Minnesota, and I think that's another guard that Minnesota expecting big things out of right now that they might have to end up moving because that's a lot of guards. That
they got a bunch of guards, man, on this squad.
I'm looking at that. DaVincio too. Wait a minute, hold on. I don't see him on the roster.
He's still there. Found him showing him. I don't think they got rid of him.
He's number
Because
0.
remember, he got injured last year. So
He is. Yeah, he is. And he's a bad boy too, man. That kid,
yeah.
that kid can play.
I know he hated he had got traded, man. That sucked.
Yeah. Because he was at Golden State before that, right?
Now they was in New York.
New York. Okay. Oh yeah. That game. Yeah.
He was in New York, and his buddies, man, won championships. Because remember they called him the villain number 3.
Yeah. Jane McDaniels is a good dude too. I like. He had a nice little game for a minute. I'm looking at their roster right now as you were talking about. They got a nice roster. Josh Green. I don't know who this Joe Ingles is.
That he come from
3-point shooter, played at Utah.
Yeah, I'm about to say
He was sniper.
Okay. Enrique. All right. So Trey Lyles. All right, they got a nice little roster, but yeah, I don't know, man. Ant is a volume shooter. You know what I'm saying? Melo is a volume shooter. You know,
yeah.
Something's got to give. You know, you try to
be the coaching that's going to get these guys to play correctly, man.
And who is the coach there? I don't even know who the coach is there, man. Saunders is not there no more, right? Who's the coach there now? Chris Finch. I don't know much about
Bill Finch's son.
Yeah, Chris Finch is still the head coach right there.
Still the coach. So okay. It remains to be seen. You ask me. I'm being honest with you. I don't know if there's enough balls between the two of them. Yeah. But then again, I'm the same guy that didn't feel like there was enough balls going around for Harden and
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, yes. Yeah, I was a little worried about that, but he made I think when a guy like that is in the end of his career, Harden, I think he just toned down a little bit. That's why he was able to make that work. Melo's a young dude, man, and Ant's a young dude. I don't know, man.
They're both the same age. They're 24.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, I got to see that one, Mark. I got to see that one because
Boogie.
His dad, and I don't know. Maybe he can calm down since he had his leg amputated or something. I don't know. He might have calmed down a little, but if he's doing that backdoor interference stuff that he's known for doing, that could be a problem. So
that's crazy.
What thought on it? Let me hear what you think on how good that's gonna work or how bad. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Boogie. I'm gonna let Boogie get his time in real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Boogie.
Yeah. What difference will he make far as Minnesota goes, Boogie, for LaMelo?
Well, other than that, man, they weren't on the da-da-da. So that the flashy, the highlight reel, all that, really, unless Ant-Man did something spectacular. So you're going to get some of the flashy highlight reel.
Okay.
I know you like LaMelo, but when I was watching some of his tape, he kind of reminded me of White Chocolate. Y'all remember who White Chocolate is?
Yeah.
Come on, baby. We know that.
Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
Sacramento, the second coming of Pistol Pete Maravich.
Florida Gators, Randy Moss back in the day in West.
Yep, they both played on the same basketball squad.
So LaMelo reminds me a little bit of White Chocolate in that he played 72 games last year. That was his career high.
Okay.
Prior to that, he had only averaged 35 games a year. Now that might, for a young guy to have been injured that much, and they weren't minor injuries; they were pretty big injuries.
Right.
What I kind of first wrote down, better point guard play. Yes, Mike Conley is just getting old; he couldn't keep up with it. Better record? No, I don't think they're going to have a better record. I think they're going to have a few more losses than they had.
Yeah.
Will they go further in the playoffs? You remember they made the Mavericks and lost. They played against Oklahoma City Thunder and lost. Last year they didn't make the Western Conference Finals. I don't think they'll go further in the playoffs. They might even go out in the first round.
Dang.
The front court is now weaker and less depth. You don't have Julius Randle and you don't have Naz Reid. So you got the one young guy. It's like you just took between Randall and Oz Reed, you're talking 30 points and 15 rebounds a game.
Yep. And toughness.
In toughness, New York showed you where you need grit. I can understand why they made the move. When you look at between Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Julian Champagnie, they had guards that could score, but they were kind of like Drew Holiday and Derek White, but a lot younger. That's why they were able to shut down Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City, Casey Wallace, the defensive guy, Caruso, defensive guy, SGA could score. But the Spurs perimeter defense, not just wing, but point of attack, they didn't have to pick you up at half court, but they could because they had such good defenders and a plethora of them that Minnesota kind of watched that and said, we don't have a true point guard. Mike Conley's not getting it done. We got to do something different.
And he's from Boston, by the way. You were right on that. I'm sorry. He is a Celtic, by the way, Mike Conley. So, I'm sorry.
And so I think management was looking at it as like Rudy Gobert's contract, looking at Ant-Man coming up for another extension. Like, we've got to make a move now. We're in the win now move. And they shortened their window maybe, and they lost some toughness, but the point guard, they traded first round pick to the Spurs to take the point guard who hadn't turned out to be anything, but I don't remember his name. But you got to remember, Minnesota had two draft picks, and they passed on two guys. They took Ricky Rubio and another guy. They could have taken Stephen Curry or James Harden, or both of them, way back in the day. So they were showing they were showing before the finals the Minnesota players that had got traded and won a ring. And I don't know if you saw the video, but Cat, before he got traded, had his T-shirt, him in a Knicks uniform, and holding up
the New York and San Antonio championship T-shirt. That was 1999.
So what he was saying is a joke as much as a prediction, but Kevin Garnett traded won a ring. There's Wally Zerbiak, I think, got traded with one of the other. There were like 4 or 5 players from Minnesota that got traded and win a ring later. But look how many. When you've been traded once, you're going to be traded again usually. But look how many times Randall has either been traded or become a free agent and moved. It was like he was at the Lakers, he was at New Orleans, he was at New York, he was at Minnesota, he was at another team in between. So he'll get his stats, but is he going to help you win? I think they looked at that. Oz Reed was kind of one of those guys that overperformed his contract. And then when they got an extension, it was kind of like, okay, now the contract and what he's performing match, but they weren't getting overvalue like they had when he was just 6 man. But that's a lot of front court depth that you just like, bling. You finally got a point guard, and congratulations, you'll be on the highlight reel. Some da-da-da moments. But I'm going to say this. I think first round exit next year.
So they're in the Northwest Division, right? You got Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Portland, and Utah. And I know we still don't do the division thing as far as the NBA goes. They don't care. You're going to fit where you fit. If we looked at that division with those 5 teams, which one would jump over Minnesota besides Oklahoma City?
Portland.
Portland?
Portland's up and coming.
Yeah. I think Dame's how will he be when he comes back? You think he'll be the same Dame, or would it be a step slower?
See, that's just the thing. He doesn't have to carry the team.
Yeah. They got a squad. They had a good coach until they let him go.
They were above 500 without him. So now he can just come in and do his thing. Shannon Sharp, I forget all the names. They've got some young talent. I think Filipowski is their center. They drafted a couple years ago.
And Stu Henderson's still there, so he really wanted to play with
They've
Game.
had 4 or 5 years to add some young players, and they're good. They were above 500. I actually see out of those 5 you mentioned, I think Minnesota might be at the bottom of those 5.
Wait a minute, we said Utah,
Denver,
Portland, and Denver. Denver's ahead of them. Yeah. So now it's out of Utah and Portland.
Yeah, you got Utah with Darren Peterson, Keontae George, Laurie Markkinen. They had a center that actually was playing more than Kessler. And, Utah, they've been stashing and playing and stashing.
Yeah.
They're Utah, talent-wise, when you look at it on paper, they can compete now. Will they? Jerry Sloan's not the coach anymore, but they've got talent, young talent.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to be. In my opinion, it's going to be tough for them to really dig out a hole that they're going to be in because they have a whole lot to work on as far as Minnesota, and they gave up too much to get that back.
Yeah, the question I would ask you is, when this falls apart, where does Ant-Man wind up?
He can definitely come to Dallas. I would love to see him in Dallas, man. I'm a fan of his. So
when is his contract up? Is it up this year or next year?
Yeah, he's got 1 year and then he's due for an extension.
That's crazy, yo.
Is he does he like Minnesota like that?
Yeah. Haven't Minnesota ever won a championship?
Atlanta.
I don't think so.
When they had Latrice Freewell and Sam Cassell, they got to the Western Conference Finals.
This ain't the Twins. That's only and the Minnesota Wild. Well, the Wild they didn't won anything.
The Vikings.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh no, they didn't win. Did they?
They lost to Tarkenton when John Madden them beat them.
Dang.
The Snake Stabler.
Kenny Stabler, right?
Yeah, Kenny the Snake Stabler.
Dang.
Snake, Alabama's finest.
Man,
ain't no more championships winning in Minnesota, man. It's too cold up there.
Nah, real talk. Speaking of cold weather, this guy we're talking about next, he played.
Wait a minute, hold on, Mike. Mike, hold on. You didn't give us yours. You didn't give us your
my assessment.
He's gonna go on with Melo and how's that work? What do you think of that? We need to hear from you.
Okay. Give y'all my thoughts. Let me give y'all my thoughts.
Bring it. We try to
So, my opinion on that one, I think it's going to be entertaining, like Bob said. It's going to be up and down the floor. It's going to be fast paced. You got a lot of young guys that's on the roster now, and you got rid of some of the luggage that you had. I don't know how Rudy Gobert is going to kind of keep up with this team. You know what I mean? They might have to look at that position because he's defensively, he's there. You know what I mean? But he's more of a paint protector than anything else. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you get a guy in front of Rudy Gobert, aka Luka Doncic, he's going to do something to you. So you got to really think, is he really going to be efficient just in that position as far as in the paint, or can we bring him out? You're going to have to find somebody who's going to be able to work both spots, inside and outside defensively, as far as a center goes. LaMelo, his defense to me lacks a lot. I don't think he's really defensive minded at all. I love his game as far as offensive. He's a showtime guy. He's going to give you highlights like Boogie said, but that's about all you're going to really get from him. You're going to put some butts in the seat just because you got that kid there and he's can play. But as you mentioned earlier, Paul, is he a winner? Can he win? Can he make you feel like, hey, we got this, we're going to the top with this? You know what I mean? I don't feel like he has that. I think he's just enjoying the game as a kid that really wants to play basketball, but he doesn't want to win basketball. You get what I'm saying? Like you said, there's a difference between having that dog and you're like, oh, no, we're finna win tonight. No matter what, I'm going all out. I can see that in Damian Lillard more than I would see that in LaMelo. You know what I mean? Damian was a dog. He wasn't a great defensive player, but he gonna give you everything he had on both ends of the court. LaMelo gonna give you all you got on the offensive end and a little bit on the defensive end. You know what I mean? If he get his defense up and play like he can play as far as defense, because he's 6'7".
Yeah, but
bro, you're 6'7" years old.
He never had to play defense in his whole life, so it's not gonna happen. But
that's what I'm saying. If he got a change of heart mindset, the coach get in him and tell him, hey, we need this every day, and have Ant do the same thing, because Ant not a defensive stopper either. You know what I mean? So you got two of those guys. The Ant plays a little bit better defense, but they not stoppers. You know what I mean? You got two guys that are your highlight superstars that are not defensive stoppers. That's going to stop your team from being elevated into where you were last year, the Western Conference Finals, because around what he had last year as far as Ant goes, he had defense all around him. So he had no choice but to get to where he was going because he didn't have to do the defensive part, kind of like what Dirk did when the Mavs had that championship run. So I can see a lot going on with this team, but I don't think they're going to be maybe top 8. They might be 8 seed somewhere. But that's as far as I see him going. But that's my take on it.
One more question on that. How did you really feel knowing that Mike Conley wasn't there?
Oh, man. I wasn't really
liking it at first.
Well, Mike Conley, if he was there,
yeah,
like you said, he would probably instill something in LaMelo. You know what I mean? As far as like, hey, this is what you need to do, young fella. Because Mike Conley's that kind of guy. He Grizzlies. I mean, he's a grinder. He's from the era where they played. Then they came off the era where they played really tough defense, and that Grizzlies team he was on was amazing. You know what I mean? So, but if he was still there, I think that would have been a great impact as far as LaMelo goes, thought process and how to play the game instead of just thinking offensive minded. Be smarter on your defense. You know, you're not the defense stopper, but you can always steal a pass. You can jump in the lanes. You can do a lot of things. Even Luka did that. You know what I mean? Luka was still a ball. He tried. You can see Luka try. But LaMelo, you don't really get that feeling like he wants to try. But, yeah.
Will Luka ever win a championship now? You just made me think of
that. That's a Bob question.
Bob?
We talked about it a couple episodes back. He hit rewind and discussed whether Brunson would win a ring before Luka. And
Bob, I know you didn't say Luka.
Now Luka is behind 0-1.
Okay.
I know he's sick too. And then look at the squad. That's gonna be another. I know we talked about it last episode, but that squad they got, I don't know what they're gonna do. Man, it's gonna be tough.
I was on the show last week and we were talking about that.
And to answer your question though, 2028, he'll be an unrestricted free agent, 10 years in the league. 2028.
Dang.
Right. When will big boy from Denver, Joker, the Joker? When is it?
If he doesn't extend 1 year earlier.
Right now, he's somewhere this year.
He already extended.
He already extended.
They offered an extension. He turned it down.
Okay, so he's got a contract. So because the rumor I'm hearing though was that he's looking to hook up with
Luka.
And
they want to play together.
Yeah.
But Lakers gave up all their remaining capital to try to get him a center. But 2028, they got a 2-year window. Summer 2028, when we're doing our 6-year podcast, we'll be talking about, is Luka going to come back to Dallas or go somewhere else?
No, we don't want him now. Yeah, he can't come back here. Flag is our guy. We didn't put the flag on the moon, baby.
Yeah, man.
This is our guy. This is our guy. He can't come back. I hate how he had to leave. I'm with you on that, Boogie Wild, but he gone now, bro.
People forget he's been playing pro ball since he was a teenager.
And that's what worries me the most.
50. He may be only 28, but his body is more like 31, 32.
Yeah. And because it was a job for him. It's always been a job. He ain't playing because he loved.
I mean, Nico for all the faults that he got. He may have saw the fact that he was already slowing down and injury prone, and like
that calf.
everybody is saying, "Oh, well, this is Luka's peak." Well, 2024 might have been his peak. He he might become the Lakers' new street clothes. You know, we'll see this year. But that hamstrings, when you pull a hamstring more than once, and then he's pulled it like the same one 2 or 3 times. There's a lot of tread that's been used on those tires.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Amazing player. Yeah.
Down to a weight that you hadn't been to in a long time. As you know, as you get older, Bob, you don't know this feeling, but Mike, you might have a little knowledge of this. Because I know I got a lot of knowledge in this. You know, losing weight, you know, the older you get, it's just hard. Yeah,
trust me, I know. I know. I may look thin, but I was skinny before I got to the age where I like one meal a day, and I still gain weight. And I'm like, what? It's like that's part of retirement. That's a whole other. But Luka may have 2 or 3 really good years, but I think you're going to see him. He's not going to slowly fade. You're going to see him hit a cliff. He's a below the rim player. Yep. So he never relied on his athleticism, but he relied on that start, stop. And if he gets to where he can do that, now he won't be quite as effective.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
All right. Well, I hope my take on Minnesota was sufficient enough for our new guy, Paul Miranda. Man, thank you for joining, man. Now we're gonna move over to our last topic of the day. This guy, like I said, he played in cold weather a lot, and he was in the Garden, and he was the big thing, man. Before the Garden, he was playing Georgetown. He was really well known in Georgetown. Bob, give us your take on the greatness of Patrick Ewing from Jamaica.
So
Kingston, Jamaica, to be exact.
You know, being the elder statesman on the podcast team here, I actually got to see Ewing play in college. So I graduated in '84, and they won a championship. '84 and then '85, Villanova shot an incredible percentage, almost 70% from the field to beat them. So I grew up in the Elijah Wan Ewing, Michael Jordan era.
Right.
So as far as New York Knicks, he's a fixture for the New York Knicks.
Okay.
And as much as the players enjoyed it, I think Patrick Ewing enjoyed the championship as much as the players did.
Talking about this year's championship?
This year's championship.
Yeah.
He was definitely a two-way player. You know, Georgetown, he played with there was another center. I think it was
Larry Graham or something.
Either Mutombo or one of the other, but there was
Graham, the bald headed light skinned dude. Graham.
But Georgetown had a two-headed center. So he scored, and I'll give you his scoring stats. He was a two-way player. As I said, he won an NCAA championship. He took the Knicks to the NBA Finals until John Starks shot him out of the gym. They took that Houston team to 7 games. Derek Harper, bless his heart, scored quite a bit, but John Starks was like 3 for 20 in Game 6 or Game 7. He just shot him out of the game. He took the Knicks to 3 Eastern Conference Finals. This is during the Jordan era. So for me, he was a top 5 center in the era of great centers. And let me just name a few: Kareem, Hakeem Olajuwon, Robert Parrish, Bill Lambert, Dikembe Mutombo, and lest we forget Antonio McDyess.
That dude was a beast in Denver.
I can't call McDyess a center though. McDyess was a power forward.
Yeah, but they played him at center in Denver. They played him at center in New York. They played him at center in Phoenix as a forward.
McDyess played with Dan Issel, didn't he?
You got me on that one. But
Nelson? Okay.
I mean, you're talking about one of the top 5 centers of that era.
Right.
And those names are all Hall of Fame. And by the way, Patrick Ewing's in the Hall of Fame. Is on the 75th team. Career
First,
stats.
right. First ballot.
Yep.
Career stats: 21 points a game, 9.8
For
rebounds,
career.
9.8 rebounds a game, 1.9 assists.
Wow.
17 seasons, career earnings $125 million. 11 All-Stars. 8 times he got voting shares for MVP.
Dang.
7-time All-NBA team, 1 time first team. 5 times he got voting shares for Defensive Player of the Year. Remember, Sean Kemp was in that era as well.
Mm-hmm.
3 times he was on the All-Defensive team. He was a Rookie of the Year, and he was first team All-Rookie. Now, can you tell me who he last played for and he retired playing for?
My guess is Charlotte.
Let's just say there's one name I left out of the top 5 centers that he had to play against.
San Antonio?
That became famous as a Laker and a Miami Heat guy. I didn't mention Shaq for a reason, because Patrick Ewing ended his career in Orlando.
Oh, that's right. He did end his career in Orlando. I remember that.
I don't remember that. But oh wow. I didn't know that. You caught me off guard with that. That's my pants down on that one.
Yeah, 2002. He played only for 3 teams: New York, Seattle, and Orlando. He played 1 year for Seattle? That's crazy.
I didn't know that either. I've always had him pegged with the Knicks. I don't even remember another team that he even thought about playing for.
Yeah.
That was a bad boy. What do you think his most memorable play was that you remember him? Is there any one play that just stands out when you think of Patrick Ewing, Boogie Bob? That
84 championship game when he knocked the first 3 shots out of the air and got called for goaltending 2 of the 3.
What about you, Mike?
It's always when he challenged, not no specific play, but I know he always played good against Chicago. He gave Chicago the business.
It's funny you said that, because my most memorable time is always seeing Jordan dunking all on Patrick Ewing. Just Sorry, Boogie Bob. It's my most memorable time for them. But
that's memorable but horrible.
I'm sure Jordan posterized just about everybody in the NBA.
Yeah, but he took it personal with Ewing for some
reason. He took it personal with his Lambeer and Ewing. He took it personal. Like Ewing had a lot of centers in the East he had to get through that he played against, in the playoffs. Yeah. The Bruce brothers, the Detroit Pistons bad boys,
And Cleveland with Darty, you know what I mean? Rick Smith. Yeah. There was a lot of centers, man.
The Georgetown team, I remember this when I really started getting into college basketball at a young age. I think I was like in the 7th or 8th grade around that time. And that one team, the Bad Boys, man, I remember that with Georgetown. And, I'd always been a Michael Jordan dude, believe it or not. I didn't realize Michael Jordan was going to be that great or whatever, right? But I loved, it's crazy because I never really liked North Carolina, only when Jordan was there. When he left, I was done with that. But I remember when they beat Georgetown, and my dad was like, Georgetown's going to win. And it was my first bet I ever made. He had the motor yard and versus I didn't, and I ended up winning because I can't remember how that game ended, but
if you meant, I was gonna catch you. I got you there, Paul. Because Michael Jordan hit the last shot, fading away 3-pointer, and then it came down and Freddie Brown, and he started waving his hand like he was a teammate that he was open, and downtown Freddie Brown passed it to him, and Jordan stole the ball and ran it out.
Bingo, there it was. But that team there, they were so feared, Mike.
James Worthy, Brad Doherty.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Georgetown, though.
Georgetown
had Ewing and a guy named Michael Graham, not Alex Graham, or as I said earlier, his name was Michael Graham. And this dude was a bald-headed 6'10 kid, 6'11 kid, athletic, right? And he acted worse than your boy Dennis Rodman. Oh, he was a nut, Mike. I don't know if he was a nut, and he was the bad boy dude, whereas, don't get wrong, Patrick Ewing was ugly as all can get, right? And he was most feared, right? But this dude, Michael Graham, was a nut. And a lot of people were scared of him as if they were playing football when they played.
I think I heard of him though.
But I'm telling you, this dude, he got into some trouble, whatever. I just Googled, right? I Googled Georgetown Hoyas roster when Ewing played, right? And the that comes up in the AI is that dude, Michael Graham.
Michael Graham, yeah. Well, some of the other names on that team that had a good career.
Looking at the list, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, David Wingate.
Yep.
He had a good career. Michael Jackson.
Floyd was on that squad.
Floyd, yeah.
Downtown Freddie Brown.
Reggie
on that Seattle Supersonics team.
So Reggie Williams had a long career.
So is it Ron Blaylock is the same guy? Is he? I mean, who? Ron Blaylock. I don't remember that name. I think Mookie Blaylock.
Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, Mookie was OU.
Did he play for them? Okay.
No, these dudes, Michael.
I'm about to say, cause like,
they had a squad, man. They were good,
and
too.
they had a heck of a coach too, and John Thompson.
Yeah, John Thompson was an
always
on there. But man, I'd love Patrick Ewing. When I think about it, his career is amazing. Probably the most at the time, the most hyped NBA player at the time, even before Jordan. Back then, right? He was in the league a little bit before Jordan, right? And I think he was the first, $1 million man in the league, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere he signed like the highest.
I thought it was Kevin Garnett.
$1 million? Yeah, because Boy signed I remember you and this guy signed like a $30 million contract for 30 years. That was like crazy. And but yeah, I'd have to look that up. But great, yeah, definitely one of the top centers of all time. I mean, we've had our share of what centers look like in the early years versus today. Today's center is so much different than when those guys played. Patrick Ewing, Ralph Sampson, of course, Kareem. You had tough guys like Lambert and Bob Lanier. Remember Bob Lanier for the
Knicks,
Milwaukee Bucks? No, the Bucks.
Oh, he's the Buck. Oh, I'm thinking. I think of the other guy.
And Moses Malone. Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. you had a bunch of guys that really put in work inside that paint. And Ewing was like the whole new. Until Hakeem came in. Hakeem, I think, it's kind of revolutionized the center position because, it kind of changed people started focusing in on footwork after Hakeem. But I think looking at Patrick Ewing's, I think his staple was the most, shall I say, the toughest enforcer at that position. One of the toughest ones ever to play that position because he was mean, he was ugly, and he didn't play around with you. You know what I'm saying? He was all business, and definitely was a dying breed of those kind of players for his era. Because, like I said, then you had Hakeem, then you start getting David Robinson, you start getting
Duncan, all them stuff. Yeah,
and then now it's like Big Cat and all them. They're shooting threes more than they get posting up now. It's a different game now. But he definitely rolled his sleeves up and went to work night in and night out. I don't think I could ever remember him taking off. It's crazy the money that you say he made, $5 million that he made. You would, if you talk to him today, right? And I've had the pleasure of talking with him because he was coaching at Georgetown and and he's had to come here. We help him get a player. Can't forget that kid's name now. God, man,
He's been on several NBA staffs as well.
Oh yeah. But he still down to earth, and he always wore. I'm telling you, it was hot outside. You know, it gets hot out here, and this guy had on one of those John Thompson trench coats. It was like, it was like the staple that he wanted to, and he let you know that, yeah, man, I wear it in honor of John Thompson. I feel like I'm in my John Thompson mode. When I'm out here recruiting, and I remember how he recruited me. He always had that tan trench coat on, and I was like, damn, really? So about that.
So I just Googled the first $1 million player in the NBA. It was Rick Mount, but a single season.
Who?
1971 Rick Mount was the first as a 3-year, $1 million contract.
Jeez, I don't even remember.
But the first player to make $1 million in a single season by both centers. Moses Malone for the Rockets and Bill Walton for the San Diego Clippers. First players to earn exactly $1 million in the 1979-80 campaign.
Dang. Paul, let me ask you this question on Ewing, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
If we drop Ewing from 1991 to current now, which team would he benefit most helping out?
Shit, he can help the Mavericks out. Hey, that right there. He could really, but today's game, I don't know if he could have really, you said something interesting about my guy in Minnesota,
Rudy Gobert.
I don't know if Patrick Ewing could move in today's game. You get a lot of this game is fast now, man. It's not stationary like it was back then, and I guess that kind of goes into the thought process of when we start talking about the GOATs and all that, and you start realizing, when we start peeling back the layers of everything, you start realizing, dang, Jordan didn't have to play in this game this fast like that, and when he had to do it, same with the centers. The games back then, were more stationary, and they were definitely it was more physical. Today you can't touch. You can't even damn near can't even blow on somebody now without a weapon. To have us say, hey, who we think he could have helped out, or it's hard to say because, man, I don't think he could.
So think of how Shaq helped out Dwayne Wade. I mean, if LeBron had ever had a Patrick Ewing, or even Luka's more of a half court player.
So let me flip that. Let's go back to Miami with Dwayne Wade. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why they shouldn't have won that one championship they won over over us. You know what I'm saying? But they ended up losing to us because of what? They couldn't keep up. They got too stationary. And we were on the move. The Mavericks were on the move, and so, like I said, the game was climbing to that fast pace, back then, and they were the last of the dying breed of, how many more years did Shaq play after that?
What, 2?
Only like 4 or 5, because he went to Phoenix and then he went to Cleveland, and
we didn't hear nothing from him since Miami. Though wherever he went after that, he didn't do anything. He was not a championship caliber.
Yeah, he was a shell of his former self.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's because the game started evolving and it started picking up. It started getting faster. Guys like that can't.
Do you remember, speaking of the 2011 team, do you know who Rick Carlisle patterned that offense in that up-tempo game after?
Who?
The 86 Boston Celtics, where he was a backup point guard.
Really?
It was called, this was long before D'Antonio came in the league.
Okay.
The 86 Celtics team was 2 seconds or less. One dribble or pass it. If you can't do something in 2 seconds, pass.
Yeah. That's good philosophy. I love Rick Carlisle till this day. I hated that we the Mavericks let that guy walk. I've said that the guy should have been. For years we had trash head coaches. Don't get me wrong. Dick Modest, Stan Bass.
Jim Buckner.
But yeah, it just
Jim Buckner, Jim three that tried to run the triangle, Jim Clemens.
Yeah, man.
That was a waste of time, wasn't it? Oh my God, I really thought he was going to end up really helping us, because that triangle offense. Wait a minute, I can't run my triangle because I ain't got Jordan here. I ain't got nobody can play that spot. So now,
because he had the 3 J's at the time, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And couldn't get it done with them, but they were too busy arguing over women. So it was going to work when you got kids, making all that kind of money, and can't prioritize, what they need to be doing with not only the money, but what they're doing on and off the court. So anyway, that's another story in itself as well. But yeah.
Paul, next time you go to a high school game, whatever, and they play the Star Spangled Banner,
okay,
there's one line that it started catching on. You got to yell out flag. That our flag was still there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You got to yell out flag.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to my boy PJ Washington, man. Did y'all see him at the World Cup?
I don't watch the World Cup, man. I haven't watched not one game.
Guys, let me tell you, I am a basketball guy, right? And don't get me wrong, away from basketball, I love NFL football. I've been to Super Bowls, I've been to NBA championships, I've been to World Series arranges, I've been to NCAA championship games and Final Fours. Nothing, guys, nothing compares to the World Cup.
Wow.
I'm telling you this, guys, dude, I hope it comes back when I'm alive, if I'm alive still, because I would definitely try to get tickets for us to go. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no experience like it, man. The people from all over this world, forget the country, forget the neighboring country. Man, I met people from Iran. I met people from Italy. I met people from it was even Cubans here, man, watching the World Cup. And it's just, and no fighting, no arguing, anything like that. Everybody just having a fun time. Let me tell you, my Cabo Verde, you see my flag right there, right? Yeah. My Cabo Verde group was the talk of the World Cup. And when I went to see them play against Saudi Arabia in Houston.
Is that one that goalie who's like 40 years old, something like that?
40 years old. Yeah. Dude, what a story, man. He goes into the first game against Spain, they 0-0. He has 8 magnificent saves, right? This dude had 50,000 followers, almost 50,000 followers.
And now you got 1 million.
No, sir. He's at 30-something million now.
Wow.
30-something million. And just to show you how no sport can compare to that World Cup, it's incredible, man.
And because that's an international game. More so.
It was crazy.
But what I'll remember is the team was like, Roo!
Road. No way.
And hey, Bob, every country has their own little, signature chant that it's crazy, man.
And the Japanese cleaned up the stadium before they left.
How about shout out to Jameis Winston to clean up with them? Did y'all not see the
yeah,
video?
I saw that.
I was like, man, Jameis Winston, y'all.
Oh yeah,
found a way to continuously reinvent himself, even after he's done. And we don't know how many more seasons he has left playing, pro football. But you want to talk about a guy that's setting up his life after football. He's going to have a hell of a career in broadcasting, or he might be the next Michael Strahan of some sort. And it's just remarkable how a guy like that, who was known for stealing a bag of crab legs in college, right, to being this impactful, to the broadcasting world right now. I'm telling you, he's getting ready to be a star, man. Simply because he knows what to say at the right time, and everything about him is motivational. You know what I'm saying? He finds ways to pick people up, and I'm telling you, he's just got that incredible gift that I'm telling you, he's the next Michael Strahan of athletes making it big in broadcasting. Watch what I tell you, man. I can see it in them because, like I said, the small things that people do in life end up propelling you to, bigger stages and so forth. And that's why I think, it's something big in store for James Winston, man. So shout out to him, man. Great stuff.
Hey, man, great show, guys. Thank you guys for coming on. As we heard earlier, he's officially Swish for real. So
lock it in.
Yes, sir.
Can't do that yet, but
yeah, we got you.
I got my practice on. I'm getting my practice on right now.
Yeah, you got it. Do just like that.
Yes, sir. All right, I got you.
Yeah. Tell the people where they can find you on the social media streets, Paul, so they can get at you and give a shout out to you.
All right, at Paul M DA, the Real Talk, on Twitter, and same thing, the Real Talk Nation on YouTube, Instagram. Paul, the Real Talk Nation .com on Instagram. I am everywhere. So. Hey, also, thank you to all of my people out there, my peeps in the streets that went to work, rolled your sleeves up and prayed with us to, get my wife, back in health and so forth, man. I'm so in debt to this community, man, because you never know, man, when you're going through something like that, just the outpouring, messages that I got of just love and support, man, from my peeps, man. I just got to say thank you. You guys in particular. You guys were there, every week, man, constantly. Hey, man, how's everything doing? I appreciate it, man. We love you, man. And like I said, love my peeps out there. So I'll be seeing y'all pretty soon. I'll be seeing
Swish for real official.
Baby. Swish for real. Here we go.
Tell the people where they can find you on these social media streets, man.
Well, you can find me on boogiebob.com, YouTube. I'm at 286 subscribers. So let's get that up to 300. But Swish for real that you got me started on. We passed 500 subscribers. Let's get that up to 1,000. Like, subscribe.
Get in there. We're gonna get there. And guys, you can find me here always on Swish for real. I'm on IG now. See Paul out there. So we'll connect everybody you'll see it on the links below when you look at this, when you click on this video, so you'll see where we're at. It's been an amazing show, guys. Thank y'all so much again. Swish for real. We are out. Guys, have a good one.
All right, you too. Stay safe.
So
That's it, Prime.